Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome into the Sports Lab. This is me, Dylan, again. Welcome all of you guys in. A little bit of a pre-recorded show for you guys this week. I do apologize not to be live. However, I am traveling as of this weekend right now, so figured do a little bit of a pre-recorded show for you guys this week for this football week. Honestly, I think it's a great week for me to do it. Ain't nothing but shit games, it seems, this weekend for football. Like one or two real decent ones that I actually would give a fuck to watch. Other than that, though, it's not a whole lot going on this weekend. Primarily due to the fact that you have 6 teams on bye week. If you have made it to this Sunday as a fantasy football owner and you have not pulled your hair out, I just want to give you a fucking round of applause, man. Because, dude, this week has been the craziest week of fantasy football. Matthew Berry came out talking about it on ESPN. It is the craziest week of fantasy football since the inception of the internet. We have 6 teams on a bye week. This is the most players that have ever been in a doubtful or worse injury designation, and the most like top players having been like that since the inception of the internet. This is the craziest, the worst week. This is going to test a lot of fantasy owners on what they can do. Kudos to everybody that grabbed that Dearness Johnson guy for the Browns this week to play on the Thursday night game. I actually grabbed him in one of my leagues, the one that I keep up with here on the show. I picked him up for this week. He's right now, I'm actually recording during the middle of the Thursday night football game right now. He's already got me 13 points, and I believe it's just halftime. Dude's doing really good. He's got a tub. He's got some yardage on him. I mean, he's looking good. Solid pickup. Any of you guys that picked him up this week, you guys are doing great for this shitty week 7 that we got here. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, 6 teams on a bye at once. I'm all for like the extra game and everything, but they need to figure that shit out as far as like what they're going to do with bye weeks. You can't have 6 teams on a bye. It's 3 fucking games that we're not going to watch this week. I think they need to figure something out. Other players that you could have been picking up this week that you still have time to go get if you do need somebody. They are more than likely on the board in your fantasy league still. I checked in on mine. I'm in a 12-team league, and these guys are available in a deep league. The first is going to be wide receiver Marquez Callaway. I've been high on him all year. He did not impress at the beginning of the season like I wanted him to. I did drop him in our league, but he's out there in most leagues. I would be willing to pick him up again this week if needed. Looking at his past 3 games, he's got 10+ points in 2 of them. He's a decent option out there if you need a receiver. Another running back that obviously hasn't played on Thursday Night Football yet that you do still have time to pick up. I think this guy's going to be a borderline flex, but if you are in dire need of somebody, David Johnson's going to be your go-to here. He gets utilized a lot in the Texans passing game, and he's probably going to be on the field a lot for that this weekend. They're going up against the Cardinals, who more than likely will dog walk this team. They're going to be playing. The Texans are going to be playing from behind a lot. David Johnson's going to get a lot of looks there from the receiver side of things. So again, if you need a running back, look for David Johnson. He's going to be one of the few options that you probably have available with the surplus of injuries that we have. Or Marquez Callaway for receiver. Those are going to be your probably best bet options that are out there right now. I don't know what your league looks like, so obviously if you have a better option, take them. But more than likely, these are going to be the 2 that are available for you that you can try to get some type of points out of. This bye week is just absolutely hurting everybody fantasy-wise. Injuries this year are racking up. It seems everybody's going down. Julio's been questionable. He's still questionable. Who else went down? Christian McCaffrey's gone down. Running backs, Raheem Mostert and who's the other guy for 49ers? They went down. Who else we got going down? Fuck, man, there's so many to keep up with. McCaffrey went down. I don't know if I mentioned him yet. Saquon, down. I mean, dude, everybody is dropping, especially running backs. Gus Edwards down. Who was who else? Basically all of the Ravens backfield. I don't know why I just said Gus Edwards. All of them. They're playing with guys that were not supposed to be playing running back for them this year. They're still doing a fantastic job, a lot better than I thought they would. Whenever they started getting all those injuries at the beginning of the season, if you remember when AJ came on, I pretty much was writing off the Ravens. They've only lost a game, but I was writing them off. Send them down the way. Let's tank. They need to tank the season, get some draft picks. They said, no, we're going to just re-rack and go. They signed Latavius Murray. They got all kinds. They've got weapons there that they picked up from some old veteran talent that was just hanging around in the league. But the one thing about these injuries that do lead to a pretty big story, things that I like to see. You don't like to see players get injured, but the perseverance that comes from some of these players, and basically these injuries allow some of these players that have been persevering to really finally get their shot, per se. One guy story that I actually heard earlier today, and I just had to bring it up because I felt like this was perfect for what we're talking about here with all the injuries and, seizing your moment, your opportunity when those injuries do happen to really, seize that moment and, make something out of it. Guy I'm talking about right now is a very unknown player. His name's Kenny Robinson. He actually chose to play in the XFL over playing in college. His mom was diagnosed with cancer. Somebody had to support the family, and obviously that's a way to make a little bit of money. College at that time, you were not able to make money off your likeness or anything like that. That is a very new thing to this year. Kenny Robinson, he became, he was a safety in the XFL. And he became the first XFL player to be drafted. He got drafted in the 2020 draft by the Carolina Panthers. He got a call up this past weekend from, the practice squad. He's been sitting on their practice squad. Got a call up this past weekend, blocks a punt, gets a touchdown, has pretty much secured himself a spot probably on this roster. The story really, really reminds me a lot of Shannon Sharp's story. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Shannon Sharp's story or heard him, talk about it. If you have not, I highly recommend you go find his video where he does talk it. I'll tell his, I will mention it here and I'll talk about it here. But it's not as powerful unless it's delivered by Shannon Sharp. Essentially, his story is that he barely, I believe he was barely drafted, late draft round pick, and was on the verge of being cut. Coach comes up to him, I believe it's a preseason game, tells him, hey, man, go out there and, do something well. We'll see where the chips lay. If you're cut, then, maybe you at least put some film out so where you can maybe go somewhere else. And basically, Shannon Sharp basically got in his mind, hey, do at least one thing every single day that will keep you on the team, basically. He goes out, he makes a play on special teams, solidifies a spot on that roster. You need to hear him tell the story. It's really, really good, very moving, especially seeing the humble beginnings that Shannon Sharp did come from out there in, I believe, Georgia is where he was at. Shannon Sharp, love that dude. He's one of the few guys that are on, like, mainstream media that, like, ESP, or should I say corporate media per se. It's not even really the mainstream anymore because most people aren't necessarily going there anymore for it. But the corporate media, he's probably one of the few guys from that area that I really just enjoy listening to. I would love to listen to Undisputed more often, but I just cannot stand Skip Bayless. Dude is, I could handle Skip Bayless when he was the crazy Cowboys fan 2 years ago and just spoke out of his ass all the time about the Cowboys. Because at the end of the day, he was loyal. He was loyal to his team. 2 years ago, the Cowboys struggled, and he has since he's tried to come back into the fandom, I feel like, with them a little bit, but he's trashed his jerseys. He's a fair weather fan, man. He only likes his teams when they're doing well. That's how he is with the Spurs. That's how he is with the Cowboys. How he is with everybody. With maybe the exception of Tom Brady. He's a big Tom Brady ball washer. If he was not on that show, I would love to listen to it more often. I used to enjoy it, but I just can't. I can no longer do Skip's dumbass takes on sports anymore. He's so out of left field. He'll never you know, give credit where it's due. He only pushes the narratives he wants to push in regards to teams and players and things that basically benefit him. That being said, Shannon Sharp, great dude. His story, a lot like this Kenny Robinson guy's story. I love to see things like this. That is, unfortunately, this is the one thing with injuries is you do sometimes get these types of stories out of it. Somebody will get their opportunity because somebody else is hurt or unable to perform, unable to play. And I love seeing when these guys like Kenny Robinson here get in the game and take advantage. Blocks a punt and scores a touchdown. I mean, what more can you say, man? He sees that opportunity. Moving on, though. Like I said, I'm recording here during the middle of Thursday night football because I am going to be out of town, heading out to Chicago. Heard that, Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago now. So I guess as a Packers fan, it's my duty to go check out Chicago and let them know, hey, the owner sent me. Want to check on how things are going. Want to make sure that the ship is ran tightly. And again, this is just a message coming from Aaron Rodgers. He owns Chicago now. I'm just going to check in on his ownership interests. That's all. Anyways, though, man, that shit was crazy, though, last weekend. Aaron Rodgers, the whole I own you thing to the Bears fans, dude, as a Packers fan, nothing better than to see that. And all the people shit talking him, really, this is just poetic justice to me. I mean, everybody talks about, oh, Aaron Rodgers isn't passionate. He's a diva. He's this, he's that. But what they always forget is like what Stephen A. said, another one of the corporate people I do like. Stephen A. comes out with, he is a bad man. And he now owns Chicago. He let everybody know. Everybody was giving him shit, though, like, oh, you didn't have to talk shit to fans, da-da-da-da. But it makes no sense. These fans can talk all the shit they fucking want to. Rightfully so. I have no problem with them talking all the shit that they do. They paid $300 plus for a fucking ticket. They can say whatever the fuck they want at these games. However, players should be able to say whatever they want back too. Nobody's really trying to cancel Rodgers for it, but people did give him shit. They were coming out saying, oh, you shouldn't have been doing that. His response was, hey, I saw people flipping me off, yelling obscenities, blacked out adrenaline. And, I think people think whenever he says blackout that he's meaning that like he just has no recollection of what he did or anything. No, what he's more so saying is more so like a seeing red, like he got in the heat of the moment. He's got these opposing fans flipping him off, yelling obscenities at him. And that adrenaline rush of just scoring a touchdown as well as getting hit a little bit late. I mean, not too late. I mean, I'm not making a fit about that. But got that adrenaline rush going, and he just goes, all my fucking life, I own you. And he is not wrong. He's now 22-5 against the Bears. So anybody that says he doesn't, you eat a bag of dicks because you're clearly wrong. But, man, I'm enjoying the shit talking from Aaron Rodgers on this. Talking about he owns the Bears. Even Tom Brady even hopped in, congratulated Aaron Rodgers on his new ownership stake. Somebody, asked Tom Brady how he felt, about the Jets, possibly him owning the Jets. And Tom Brady, savage, man, straight up tells him, I don't want to own the Jets. I'll take their cool color green, but he's like, you keep the fucking Jets. I'll just take the color green. Who in their right mind would say they own the Jets? Come on, man. Like, everybody owns the Jets if you really want to think about it. They've only won one game. Everybody owns them at this point, But yeah, man, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, I'm really enjoying them talking shit. I've never been the biggest of Tom Brady fans, primarily because I'm such a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I definitely, always try and go to bat for Rodgers on, that GOAT talk, GOAT conversation, who's the, best player, all that. By all means, definitely who's the GOAT in this situation. It depends on really what you value in a player. Do you value somebody that has sat in a system and manage the game and just clock and, just manage a game? Or do you like a guy that slings the fucking rock that doesn't necessarily have to play off the system per se? I mean, obviously he's in the same system he's always in. But do you really think that Tom Brady is truly a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers? I don't. I don't think that Tom Brady can throw the ball as well. I don't think he can throw the ball or throw the ball as far. I don't think he'd throw the ball as accurately. I don't even think he's as mobile as Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady has had the benefit of being with Bill, and Bill has had the benefit of being with Tom Brady. I think they both helped each other out. Now, if you're looking at legacy, obviously you've got to lean to Tom Brady, right? I mean, he's got more rings than anybody ever has. I don't even know if anybody will ever touch him. Majority of franchises don't even have as many Super Bowl rings as he has. Legacy-wise, man, you definitely got to say, hey, man, he's done the best in the NFL that anybody has ever done. Now, as far as if he's the best thrower of the football, it's a completely different conversation. So I always like to remind people of that. But sorry to get off on that tangent. It was more so just talking about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and all the shit they've been talking. I was talking about it with my buddy the other day, and it kind of reminds me, back in the day, when I was off at school, was pledged to fraternity, was in the fraternity, right? You have your guys that are like the young guys, and they're really amped up, but they don't really know what's going on, so they don't really get put in any type of position. They don't like to speak up or anything like that. Then you get your guys that are like in the middle classmen. They've been there for a minute. They kind of know what to expect, and those are usually the guys that are probably starting to lead the organization a little bit. And then you have the guys which I'm going to refer to as Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Bradys. These are your seniors about to graduate, but they're still active in the fraternity, and they're still leaders of everybody. Everybody still looks up to them. They drink better than all the other guys. They do, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they play football better than all the other guys. That's the comparison I'm making there. I mean, and then they just sit around and talk shit about the establishment. That is what the fifth-year senior actives that's getting ready to graduate in fraternity life does. And I love seeing this in real life. With football, it's fucking funny. These two I think I like Tom Brady more now that he's out of New England. I was never a fan of him in New England. I thought he was a prick. I think now that he's kind of gotten the chance to get out and express himself more, that this has really been where he's taken off, and you've been able to see his personality. Hell, he got toasted at the Super Bowl parade, throwing the Lombardi from boat to boat. I mean, the dude was hammered, but I love it. I mean, these two dudes are enjoying their time in the league, however long that will be. Speaking of how long things will be, Aaron Rodgers, in his press conference last week, when asked about the game and how much fun he had, mentioned, hey, this is probably not going to be the last time that I step foot here in the Bears. So it either means one of two things here, or maybe three. First thing means that's a good sign for us Packers fans that he has no plans of going anywhere. Maybe this whole offseason thing is going to all wash over, and he's going to stay in Green Bay, and we're going to keep Devontae Adams. We're going to keep everybody happy, and Jordan Love's going to keep his ass right on that pine pony. No offense to Jordan Love, but you ain't Aaron Rodgers. So that's first possibility. It seems like he maybe subliminally has said that he will be remaining in Green Bay next year. Or, flip side of that, every Packers fan's worst nightmare. He's going to the Bears. So he's going to keep playing in that rivalry. If he goes to the Bears, I will denounce all allegiance to Aaron Rodgers. I'll support him in whatever team he goes to. I'll even support him if he goes to the fucking Cowboys. Yeah, I know he's not going to the Cowboys for all you motherfuckers. He'll be like, oh, no way, we got Dak. Shut the fuck up. I know he's not going there, but what I'm saying, I'm making a point because I don't like the Cowboys. He goes to the Bears, I will denounce him as my favorite QB, at least until he leaves the Bears or retires. I doubt that's what he meant by it. I think he meant more so the first thing. Or the third thing is he just plans on playing Chicago more because he's going to go to another team that may play him. It could that could be maybe what it means to, and it didn't really mean shit. But I'm leaning with number one. I'm hoping it's number one. He's gonna be here next year. He's giving us that glimmer of hope. That glimmer of hope. Now, if the front office would just not fuck it up, we'll be good. Moving on, this Thursday night football game. What an absolute shit show tonight. Looks like this. What do we got going on here? Yeah, it's still 10-0 right now. I mean, this game is an absolute just shit fest. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater playing QB against Case Keenum. I don't even know what to say about this game, man. I have no clue how to call it. The Broncos have proven what I thought from the time that they started 3-0, but they beat people that aren't good, and everybody was praising them. Now look at them. They're playing good teams, and they're getting beat. They're playing the Browns right now with Case Keenum, and they're currently down 10-0 in the third. It's fucking Case Keenum. Case Keenum. If you can't beat Case Keenum, you might as well throw it in the towel. Even Teddy Bridgewater should be able to beat Case Keenum. I don't know, man. This Thursday night football game is whack, though. I mean, it had the potential to be so good, but all the injuries to the Browns, literally all the Browns roster is pretty much hurt. Baker, hurt. Jarvis, hurt. Odell's in, but I think he got hurt a minute ago. Now, I don't know how serious it is. Oh, touchdown, Broncos. Melvin Gordon got him a tub on a little out route, it looked like. That being said, though, I mean, it's a shit show of a game, man. Like, I wish they would put some better games on Thursday night football. I think we got one this next week. I want to say the Packers are going to be playing Arizona on Thursday night football. I don't know if we play them on Thursday night or not. I believe it is, though. But, man, like, this Thursday night here, it's really just kicking off this week of just shit fucking games. This week, as far as everything goes for NFL football, man, it is a absolute snooze fest, man. These are the games. First, we have 6 teams again on bye week, like we talked about earlier. 6 teams on bye week. That's 3 games we're missing already. Thursday night football, you load us up Broncos and Browns. Okay. Who gives a fuck? Then you have Chiefs and Titans. That's one of the few that I'm somewhat looking forward to. I think this is a chance for the Chiefs to get back on track. They need to. And I think it's a chance for the Titans to prove that, they're really not that bad of a team and that they can play and compete. You got Green Bay playing against Washington. Has the potential to be a decent game. It's not really going to be a huge factor. I don't believe in like standings or anything like that. But it has the potential to be a good game. I mean, you've got a good defensive front going up against a somewhat getting healthier offensive line for the Packers, who struggled with the Bears' defensive front last week. Could be a good game. I don't think so, though. I mean, it has the potential. I don't foresee it happening. I did take the Packers this week in my survivor pool. I'm always afraid to take the Packers, just being a fan, because I'm afraid that the time I take the Packers is going to be the time that they just don't deliver for me, because sometimes it happens. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed that the Packers come out of this weekend 6-1 and moving on with another victory. Game of the week, I think. This has got to be the game of the week. It's literally the only good game on the slate, and that's going to be the Bengals at Ravens. So basically, you can watch that game at noon on Sunday, and after that, you ain't going to watch shit else because the rest of the games are all trash. But the Bengals at Ravens, it's going to be a good one. Will Joey Burrow claim the AFC North in this game against the Ravens? The Ravens are currently 5-1 as well. Right, 5-1? Yeah, 5-1. The Bengals 4-2. Bengals take this win. They now got the tiebreaker, and they're sitting on top of the AFC North. It is a huge game. It's really the only one that seems to have any implications on standings per se. Big game, and I'm a big closet Ravens fan, I think, just due to the fact that I really like Lamar Jackson. However, I'm kind of getting on that Bengals train a little bit too. Ever since the game they had with the Packers where Joe Burrow was just giving it his all, Man, I'm a Joey B fan, man. I like him. I think he's going to be a great QB as long as he can stay healthy, as long as the Bengals keep protecting him. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a great game this weekend. I would not be surprised if the Bengals pull it out. I think they, I think they're gonna have, I think they're gonna get it. I would like to see the Ravens win just because I do like Lamar, but I'm not gonna be mad if the Bengals win either. And I would not be surprised if the Bengals pull it out. They've been a tough team. They took the Packers to overtime, and it took 6 field goals to decide a winner of that game. They have been working teams this year, man. They look unlike any other Bengals team I've seen in probably the past 10 to 15 years. They they're a phenomenal team right now. I think they're good contenders in the AFC. The AFC is not that strong, I don't think. I think they make a good case for themselves to be a deep playoff team. I don't think they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but I could see maybe a second round, maybe a second round exit from the Bengals, which I think is a huge step up for them. Huge step up. But it starts with the game here this weekend against the Ravens. They need to win this. This is a prove it game for the Bengals. They went up against the Packers, lost a close one. They proved that they can hang with them. Can they prove that they can still keep it up as well against other good teams? Can they beat a divisional opponent that is at the top of the division and claim that first place spot? That is going to be the real question. I think that's the best game on the slate for this weekend. Other than that, you got Panthers at Giants. Who gives a fuck? Falcons, Dolphins. Who cares? Jets, Patriots. I mean, who cares, man? These games this week, I've never seen a week where the games are just so bad. Eagles, Raiders, that may be a decent game depending on, what Raiders team shows up this weekend. Rams, Lions. The Rams are going to beat the shit out of the Lions more than likely. Bucks and Bears, I mean, that may be a decent game just due to the fact that the Bears defense may be able to hold them in it a little bit, but it's going to be the same situation as last week. The Bears will hold them in it as long as they can to give the Bears fans hope. And then what's going to happen is Tom Brady's going to then score towards the end, and he's going to pull away. The score is not going to look as close as the game was, but the defense is going to hold them in there for a little bit. That's the only thing that could potentially make that game a good game. Cardinals, Texans, come on, man. Come on. Cardinals are going to probably put up a 30-0 rout on the Texans this weekend. I have no doubt about that. Colts and 49ers. Again, who gives shit? Colts have underperformed this year. Carson Wentz can't keep healthy. And then on Monday Night Football, you're wrapping out the slate with the Saints Seahawks. It's going to be a tough week for a football fan. I'm glad I'm traveling this weekend. I'm glad of all weekends, this is the weekend I get to travel and I have to miss games for this weekend because this weekend is an absolute snooze fest of a Sunday slate. But for all you diehards that are going to get through it and watch it, kudos to you guys. Kudos to you guys. Anyways, though, guys, I appreciate everybody, kind of tuning in. Like I said, this is kind of a shorter show this week. Oh, what the fuck is going on there? Oh. Little technical difficulty, but I don't understand what's going on there. Whatever. Anyways, though. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all of y'all, tuning in. I try to get the little outro music for you guys. I don't know what's going on with it. A little bit of a technical difficulty here, I guess. But anyways, though, guys, I appreciate all y'all tuning into the show. Sorry, it's a little bit of a quick one. Like I said, this week we're traveling. Wife's wedding's this weekend. I appreciate you guys or not wife's wedding. Why would my wife be getting married? My wife's cousin's wedding's this weekend. Congratulations to you guys. I'm excited to come see y'all tie that knot. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Sorry it's not a live show today. But we'll be back live again on Tuesday night with Hockey Talk. And then we'll be back live again next Sunday for next weekend. The next weekend, we're going to have a lot better games, it looks like, on the slate. We're going to kick things off. Packers, Cardinals. It's going to be the best Thursday night football game of the season. let's see who else we got. Titans, Colts. Decent game, I guess, at a good rivalry game. Steelers, Browns. That'll be fun to watch. Looks like a lot of divisional type matchups coming up the next week. Cowboys, Vikings. I think that's going to be a good one in the next week. We just got to get through this week 7 slate, guys. I think we can do it. Just bear with us here. It's gonna be a little bit of a rough ride this weekend. But I think that should definitely be a quick weekend of games, obviously, because we're missing 3. But I think next weekend's going to be even better. Y'all hang in there. Y'all weather the storm. I will see you guys back. May possibly even bring you guys a little Thursday night episode after Thursday night football, depending on how my Packers do. We get our ass kicked. Y'all ain't going to see me on Thursday night. But anyways, y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, do all that good shit. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time, guys. Peace.